hopefully we should be live. I am hoping. Actually are live. So yes, they actually am covering chapter 312 of Golden Kamuy, the manga series. As we know, I believe this is the third to last chapter, I believe. 314 is the last one. And yeah, I mean, goddamn. I still refuse to acknowledge that prior chapters actually even happened, because Hichikata's dead, and I was like, bro, I don't want him to die. I loved him so much. I lost Ogata as well, which is just like, he died in the most ironic way possible, which is like the best way for him to go out. Because if it was going to go any way, it had to be in some brutal irony, and there was brutal irony in the whole entire death of him. We lost Ushiyama as well, and that was another one we lost. We lost Dick Sensei, which is like a cardinal sin. What else? Who else did we? We almost lost. We almost lost Tsukushima at one point, if I remember correctly. Koito's kind of vibing, like he's vibing. Surumi's like on the verge of like possibly dying. Who knows? Cinepush's kind of there. She's going. She's carrying on. And yeah, I mean, other than that, fuck if I know what's gonna happen by the end of this whole entire series. It's a fucking bloodbath. This whole entire like section of the manga just be one onslaught of deaths. Like, good god, like you think when you read a part of JoJo, everyone dies at the end, but Jesus Christ, this one takes the cake for just like murdering a load of characters like in a quick succession as well. Because like per chapter we lost one character. I was like, wow, okay, guys, calm down. It's just who pissing your cereal this morning? I mean, I love this series so much. I want to see it end. But at the same time, I can't wait to see how it ends. At the same time, you get what I mean? If that makes sense. I just don't want to see it end, but I want to see how he ends it, because it's going to be quite the experience. So anywho, let's put on to actually gone live. Reading. I need to put my keyboard way over here now, because my microphone's in the way. Go. Go. I was debating whether or not to leave like 2 weeks, cover 312, 313, and cover 314 on its own. I thought I might as well just cover the rest of it separately, to be honest. I think it's better that way, maybe. I don't know. Depends. We'll see. I can't do anything now. Anywho, let's read 312. Actually, is called. Let me put the height better, because I can't see. So it's called 312 is called Share. So this train's headed for hell, and these are the VIP seats. You're the Vagrant Boy. The Vagrant Boy is going to take you down. Kikuta. My boy. Also dead. At this point, who's dead? Who's not dead, I mean. The battle train headed for hell. Oh yeah, I have to do that. Now I'll just do this. Because his last words were about a Vagrant Boy. Was that you, perhaps, Sugimoto Saichi? That miserable little spy said that the Vagrant Boy would take me down. You son of a... Calm down, Sugimoto. Don't listen to him. Well, I mean, he's dead, so he's not partially wrong. Surumi's like, I might have just fucked up here. We'll see. We'll see. It's like a dance, in a way. Like, the way they fight in this manga is like a dance, in a way. It's not like... Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, there is brutal violence in this manga. That's kind of the normal conventional sense. But it's also like a dance to it at the same time as some of the fights. I mean, Ogata and Sugimoto's actual fight was just kind of... It's kind of like a dance, in a way. They kissed as well at one point. I don't know if using a rifle would be the best of all scenarios in that close quarter combat, because let's be real, it's better for range. I think the real call would probably do you more damage if you actually went that close. I'd be wrong. So you want to go for the punch, and then the kick. Huh? Uh oh. It's the katana. What about the land deed? Are you going to get revenge with Mr. Shinpachi? If it were to protect Hishikata as he chased his dreams, then I would have happily given my life, but there's no meaning in fighting any longer. And above all else, I don't want to leave his body here for them to see. The train's stopping. I'm going for like the thought process that there's gonna be some like Hail Mary from Tanigaki at some point. He's got to come back because he got shot at one point and just disappeared. Like that man, the man's got shot in the ass and survived it. So I don't for a moment believe that he's gonna die. So he'll come back and do something that, and like it's gonna be like Power of Friendship kind of moment. Like everyone's gonna go in and just beat the ever living shit out of Tsurumi. Like the ending to It, the original ending to It, when they kind of body Pennywise when he's a spider. Same kind of ending. There he is. I was like, he's got to come back at some point, and then boom, there he is. Tanigaki Genjiro, the gold. If it was there in it was there in Godokaku, wasn't it? If that's not the case, and I can't fathom the reason why Wilk made those mottled gold coins, it would mean that he had told the Ainu about a source of military fund that didn't exist, all for the purpose of deceiving them into starting an uprising. This country is lacking in resources. In order to defend it, we have no choice but to expand into Manchuria. Central will do nothing but hold us back, so this deed is necessary to keep them at bay. You yourself fought Russia for Japan's sake. Did you not, Private First Class Sugimoto? The army fed me, so I worked for them. That's all. Jump off this train right now. I'll forget about the gold. Central's pursuing me after all. I would have no time to bring it with me anyway. The gold belongs to you now. No. We're ending this right here and now. Uh-oh. That's some dirty tactics. Dirty tactics. Sorry if that's not me. A deal like that doesn't mean anything to me anyway. I've already got my share. Oh shit! We don't make deals with the devil because we have it already. 312? End. So throwing gold, like the Shirashi running scene, this may or may not be a visual callback to an earlier moment in the manga. Namely, the moment in Chapter 135 when Hichikato gathers blood in the palm of his hand and throws it into Inudo's eyes. Given that Hichikato's Sashikimoto's parallels, Noda keeps trying to draw the similarity of the actions. It may be something deliberate. It could just be something Sugimoto did because it was fun, though. I was gonna say, because it does feel like it does feel like he's constantly doing it to call back to the fact that they're both exactly the same person. Well, they're very similar in nature, because it was more direct in the way that after he gives him his weapon, Hichikato gives Sugimoto his weapon. He sees himself in him, so it kind of makes you go, okay, so then at least the legacy of Hichikato Toshizo still lives on. But yeah, I mean, by all accounts, I would have kind of preferred if they kept the possible like fight between Sugimoto and Tsurumi to the next chapter. But I mean, by all accounts, it looks as if like we'd see the end of Tsurumi. But does that mean the end of everything with Tsurumi's character? Because again, don't get me wrong, there's this idea that we don't know whether or not anything will live on with him, because Tsukishima's still kind of trapped in the whole bubble of Tsurumi's character. So again, the only way for Tsukishima to actually break out of that is for Tsurumi to die. But whether or not that would then mean that his life will just be back to normal or he will just carry on is yet to be seen. We don't necessarily know what, because don't get me wrong, there's always been that whole entire idea of like people who can't necessarily like give up who they are, even after the whole entire thing's ended. There's been like instances in this whole entire manga series of that happening. And I kind of want to see what actually happens to Tsukishima's character in that regard, because at every single turn, he does still kind of profess his loyalty to Tsurumi. So whether or not that then continues on, actually maybe he does become higher and actually then carries on the entire like idea, yet to be seen. But oh shit, it'd be kind of interesting to see what happens then, especially with Koito's character as well, because Koito's also a person who, though I feel like with Koito's character, he's kind of now realized a lot more of Sumi's character and actually wants to actually break away from that. And yeah, I mean, I also liked how the gold was used as well. That was actually a really nice way to actually like give the gold a better kind of feeling than, say, with what's been going on with the gold recently. Because the gold itself was MacGuffin originally, in kind of in a very, very normal state. It's MacGuffin. Now we actually have the gold. It was actually turned to the antagonist of the entire series because, as we know, it kind of drove people insane or drove people mad. And yeah, and then you kind of at that point realize, is the gold worth it? Is the gold what we've been chasing for 314 chapters? Was it worth it? But I like then now, the one thing Surumi wanted to actually then progress Japan itself actually was his downfall. That's actually kind of a nice visual like idea of the whole entire idea, the idea of a downfall of a character. Granted, it's always been the case, like Surumi's actual entire death flag has been raised his entire time. Because ever since Kikuta said that the Vagrant Boy will end you, you were like, well, shit me, he's gonna die, isn't he? And I liked it how it was through the hands of Sugimoto's character as well. But at the same time, I also liked how we didn't see that whole entire idea, but then we actually saw what it actually meant, because the gold itself was then used to actually kind of do some good in the end, because it kind of took down Surumi's character. I also liked how Tanigaki survived, because again, the man's disappeared out of the fucking universe for like a good chunk of this whole entire arc. And like most characters in this whole entire series, they just come back randomly, like, wait, what? And they're like, holy shit, okay. Alright, now they're back. That's awesome. What now? Because I didn't think he was gonna die. Like, the man survived a shot to the arse, and he's just kind of like, he was vibing afterwards. So, at this point, I think every single character in the series can survive anything that isn't directly a shot to the brain by themselves, or also a kind of like a grenade. The only two things that can kill a character in this whole entire manga series. Anything else? Nothing can kill them. I guess also possibly a bear almost. Could probably kill a character, but other than that, no. I also kind of wanted to see some reconciliation with the entire idea of his family as well, with Surumi's character, because again, I like the human side of his character a lot. The idea of actually how he does keep the entire like grudge against Walk alive. And I kind of want to see that fully realized possibly by the end of it. I also want to see whether or not it does actually kind of come through next chapter, whether or not Surumi still has some life left in him, and whether or not that then kind of feeds into him mentioning about his family, and actually then more so than what we've already seen, because we already know more about his family, especially with the whole thing with Acidipa back in chapter 278, around there. So again, I want to see more of that whole entire aspect, especially towards the end of his life as well, because that'd be interesting to see whether or not he does kind of like reconcile with the whole entire idea, or not he passes on, maybe possibly just going, well, fuck it, I guess, and actually just kind of dies, just kind of, what's the word, reconciling with, I guess not to an extent with Wilk, but with everything else. And that's what I also kind of want to see, whether or not maybe they actually laid them to rest even more so. As well, whether or not Tsukishima actually, whether or not someone finds his body, say if he does die, we don't know just yet, but someone finds his body and actually laid the bones of his family to rest. Because again, that kind of is like, we want to see the human side of him kind of end as well. We don't want to see him die tyrant, essentially. We don't want to see him die as Surumi, we want to see him die as his previous person as well. So it's interesting to see whether or not they do end it that way as well. Again, only time will tell. We've got 2 weeks left, I believe. 28th is when the last chapter actually releases. So interesting to see how it does conclude in that way, and whether or not anyone can in theory move on. Because again, that's the other thing to know. I think by most account, all characters probably could move on. Acidipa's probably one of those characters I kind of fear slightly, because again, there's been instances of her character sort of kind of like flicking a switch and kind of changing, for instance. Like, wait a minute, wait, what's going on here? But then I kind of want to see whether or not anyone else can actually move on from what's happened here, whether or not it does actually have more lasting effects than just the war. Because as we know, theoretically speaking, if you kind of want to look at it from a perspective, this kind of was a micro war in a way between the 7th Division and our team. So just to see whether or not characters can move on from this, actually then build their life again, actually what it does in theory mean for everyone else. That'd be interesting to see as well. But yeah, I mean, I would say probably out of all the series I've read in a very long time, it probably actually has the most graceful ending. Because I always kind of fear endings of manga, because 9 out of 10 times always end shit. Like, if it's a Shonen Jump manga, that's just like cue for going, I know about this one, bro. But there's instances where I've seen series end gracefully. All JoJo parts, for the most part, pun the pun, actually end really well. Like, there's maybe some that you can already say, I don't know about that one. But for the most part, they all end gracefully. And yeah, I kind of feel like this one's one of the instances where the series has ended gracefully. Every single instance that's been established the entire time has come full circle. About irony, the idea of Surumi actually the goal being his downfall, and everything else like that, and everything else in between. It's all come full circle. It might be a pun in there as well because of the train. There's probably a pun somewhere in there, so pun the pun if it actually is. But yeah, I mean, I love this series so much. It does really creep into my top 3 of all time, I think. I don't know, it's one of those series I will never forget for the longest time. Probably stuck me for the rest of my existence, and I can't wait to see what else actually does come of this. There's a live action film coming out at some point, which terrifies me because I have fucking no idea how they're going to adapt this manga into live action, considering half of it is half naked, well, not half naked, fully naked men. So whether or not it will pass rating in pass rating without any problems yet to be seen, I don't know, because literally it's brutal violence and naked men this entire time. That's this whole entire manga series in a nutshell. So I can't wait to see that. Also can't wait to see whether or not they do anything more with the series after the end of it. So yeah, that's me done for today. I've got to lie down for a long while and cry because the series ends in about a week. I'll see you guys then. So as always, actually have enjoyed the entire stream as a whole, and as always, do leave a follow on Twitter and on Twitch. Both helps quite a lot. Both of them tell you one will tell you when streams are live. Any other streams I do as well. And the other will tell you the other one will allow you to actually watch these streams live as well. And also like on YouTube, sub on YouTube as well, because both do help quite a lot as well. So until next time, chapter 313, I believe, of Golden Kamuy the manga series. I'll see you guys then. Bye for now.